in common, I believe. And I think one of those things that we both struggle with is, and I know that you struggled with a lot when you two were first separated, is depression and anxiety. And, even to this day, these are still things that I deal with on a regular basis, and I am, constantly trying to go to, different lengths to meet the needs of my mental health, because they don't seem like, it doesn't seem so simple as it used to be. And I wonder for you, how has your mental health changed and been affected and healed, throughout all of these trials and tribulations that we've gone through as a family, and now to where we are?
Well, I will say that our divorce was the hardest thing I've ever gone through. I mean, my dad died in a real unexpected way when I was 12 years old, and I remember being upset, and I remember dealing with all of that. But this, after being married for 27 years and going through a divorce, that actually was the most difficult thing I've ever gone through. And of course it led to depression on my part. My entire identity was crushed. Changed. It actually makes me reevaluate, who you are, why you're here, what is your purpose. And I don't know. All I really can answer is the same thing that I said earlier, which is that I sort of got on this idea that everything is in a state of change at all times, and that if you just keep putting out the positive, then the positive will come back around to you. And it was for me. I felt like it was a long transition to.
It was a very long transition,
get
not
back,
just for you, but for all of us. I think. I mean, when you think about it, it seemed like when you say, and I just did, like 3 or 4 years doesn't seem like that long a time when you look at it, but when you're in it, it's forever.
And, yeah, for sure.
And it was. It did feel bad.
For me, especially, I felt like I was trapped in this state of, there's flies everywhere. I felt like I was trapped in this state of just unsureness, just like limbo, really. I'd never, and to be a young kid going through puberty, going through the changes in my life that were happening in my friend group, and my own teenage drama that I was already dealing with, which is a hard age for everybody, to stack what was happening at home. I remember I was friends with a couple guys when I was in junior high, and I was Skyping one of my friends, and we were talking about how me and another one of my friends were fighting, and he said, "Oh, you know what we should do? We should call him, and and I'll stay on the phone with you, and I'll see what he has to say about you, and you can hear." And we were like scheming it up, and he put our friend on speakerphone, and he goes, "Hey, so I was just calling you," and of course I could hear the whole conversation through a video chat. And he goes, "Hey, I was just calling you to see like what's going on with you and Ivy. Like, are you guys still friends?" And then my friend that was on the phone said, "Well, we weren't friends, like we were fighting, but I just heard my mom just told me that her parents are getting a divorce, and I had not told anyone." Like, and I was like 14, like it had been like 2 years at this point that you guys had been separated, and I hadn't told anybody about it. I was very secretive about it, and I didn't want anybody to know, because I was the friend that always had the big birthday parties and the fun life and like the easy life and the cool parents, and that you guys were going through a divorce was really shameful for me. It felt like my life was everything I had known was fake, and so I just wanted to keep up that illusion to my friends, you know? And so when I heard him say that, my other friend looked at me in the video chat, and I looked at him, and I was just like, and he said, okay, I'll talk to you later. And he hung up the phone on our other friend, and he looked at me and he goes, is that true? And I was just like struck, like never thought in a million years that this conversation would ever have to happen. And so for me, I know especially that transition was a point of shame for me, but now I am so proud of this kind of family that we have. And people always ask me, you know, I'm like, oh, like when I come home from school and I go over to the apartment and I'm just like hanging out with you guys, and then she comes over for dinner and we're all chilling and grilling and hanging out and playing games and stuff, and my friends will come over to the apartment and see all three of you guys there, and then my best friend, she'll be like, I still don't understand how your parents are friends. She's like, my parents hate each other. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a really unique and cool situation that I don't know anybody else that has it like this, but also I wouldn't want it to be like this unless it was what was best for your friendship and for your mental health, all of you guys.
Right,
You
I
know,
agree.
and that's the thing too that I worry about is I want you all to stay healthy mentally and not have any resentment towards one another. And so as long as there isn't any of that, I think that it's a really healthy situation.
And I really feel, for me personally, my resentment days are like long gone. And I know that I did have resentment, and I really don't feel like it was always fair to you. I just think that we did we were high school sweethearts, and we did the best we could, and nobody gave us any rules or regulations, and we just did it. And then, before you know it, so many years have gone by, and you're like, wow, I'm not the exact same person, maybe, or, there's so many different variables, but the point is that now we are all here, and we're at the current river, yes, and it's time to, we're going to wrap this up, and my hopes are with this particular episode is that you don't have to hate the people that have maybe you've hurt, and or vice versa, they've hurt you. There's always that opportunity to forgive each other.
Yeah.
And the true definition of forgiveness, I don't know, many people don't realize this, but it means to forget. You don't remember what happened, right? And that is what, and I know there's some things that you're like, I'm never going to be able to forget that. Mm-hmm. But at that moment is what you got to do is you got to detach that emotion from it. If that's, and it is possible, I know. You can remember what happened and detach that emotion from it. Because if you continue to live in that, okay, so how did I learn how to forgive? If you want to learn how to forgive, you don't ever tell the story again. So,
but here we are telling the story.
But we have not told sad stories. We have not told, you did this to me and I did that to you, and do you remember when you did that? We don't tell those stories, because those are the things that you tell a story that happened, and then you build that emotion up, and it's almost like you're reliving it again, because your imagination is so strong, you're recreating it again. And people continue to do that over and over and over. They recreate that exact same story of how you did me wrong, or remember when you did that to me. And that's the part you gotta forget. You just gotta literally let that go and only remember the good things, because those good things are what brings real life and healing. And yes, everybody does something wrong to another person at one time or another, small or little, but the point is, forget the transgressions, and then if you ask forgiveness, I want to go on the other side, okay? To forgive is to forget. But if you ask forgiveness, that means when you ask for forgiveness, Does anybody know what that means?
It means you're saying that you'll never do it again.
I'll never do it again. I'll never do that again. It will never happen again. One of the main things I learned through the whole experience, and I remember, Ivy, I've told you this, you can't make promises that you can't keep. So don't make a promise you can't keep.
Yeah.
And I truly thought I'd be married my whole life, forever and ever and ever. Amen. But that was a promise I couldn't keep. So now I make short-term promises that I can keep. And if I don't think I can keep a promise, I say I'm not positive I can do that, but I'll try.
And this is a message for all of you all to go change your wedding vows, because you might not be able to keep that promise.
It's not right. I mean, maybe you say, I don't know. I'm not going to go into that.
Maybe you say,
You follow your heart. Follow your heart. Till
we both decide we don't want to anymore, do us part.
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm like, until we're both not keeping each other happy. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, all of us, but I love marriage, and I love weddings, and I think it's beautiful. And I love the idea that you stand up in front of God and people and say, hey, I want to be with this person. But no one knows when you're 20 who you're going to be at 40, because change happens. That's it. Change happens. And if you live your life in a forgiveness state, then you will find yourself a healthy, happy person. And I think that's it. Ivy, you got anything else to say, my dear?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Have a wonderful day.
We love you.
Click like. And, well,
when I put it on YouTube, I'll say subscribe.
Yeah. But for now, just like and follow the page, and
whatever you do it. I'm all in 110, 110% all the time.
Have a great day.